नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees and children for the Ratnamala session. Today we will take a shloka from the 16th chapter of Bhagavad-gita. This is the first shloka. In the 16th chapter, Krishna describes some divine qualities and demoniac qualities in people. So we are supposed to be cultivating the divine qualities and abandoning the demoniac qualities. So what are the divine qualities? So there is a big list that Krishna gives in the first three shlokas. They are 26 in number. So we are taking the first shloka that has about 9 qualities. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Danam Damascha Yagnascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam. Now we will learn this line by line. First line, Krishiva, you can recite 3-4 times. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi, Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi, Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi, Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi.
Very good. Next, second line, Uma Mataji. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi.
Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Krishna and Prabhu. Danam Damascha Yagnascha.
Dhanam yoga, dhanam damasya yajnasya, dhanam damasya yajnasya.
Okay, thank you. Then Hasini, last line. Swadhyaya stapa arjavam.
Swadhyaya stapa arjavam, Swadhyaya stapa arjavam, Swadhyaya stapa arjavam.
Good. Ranendra Prabhu, 2 lines at a time. Abhayam sattva samshuddhi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Abhayam sattva samsuddhir jnana yoga vyavasthitihi.
Again.
Abhayam sattva samsuddhir jnana yoga vyavasthitihi.
Again.
Abhayam sattva samsuddhir jnana yoga vyavasthitihi.
Thank you.
Thank
Next.
you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Kamakshi. Danam damascha yagnascha swadhyayastapa arjavam.
Danam damascha yajnascha swadhyayastapa arjavam. Danam damascha yajnascha swadhyayastapa arjavam. Danam damascha yajnascha swadhyayastapa arjavam. Danam damascha yajnascha swadhyayastapa arjavam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you. Next, Yashoda, full shloka. Abhayam sattva samshuddhir.
Abhayam sattva samsuddhi, jnana yoga vyavasthitihi, danam damascha yagnascha, svadhyayastapa arjavam.
Thank you. Next, Soumya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Shri Bhagavan Abhayam Sattva Samsiddhir Gnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Danam Damascha Yagnascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Next, Rasheshwari Mataji. Abhayam sattva samshuddhir.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi Jnani Yoga Vyavasthita Danam Damascha Yagyascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Next, Bhakti Sri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti Danam Damascha Yagnascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam.
Hasini.
Abhayam sattva samsuddhi jnani yoga vyavasthitam danam damasya yajnasya swadhyayasta tapa arjavam.
Okay, thank you. One last recitation. Anyone? Shalini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Can you repeat, Prabhuji? I want to repeat after.
Yes. Abhayam sattva samshuddher
Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhir
jnana yoga vyavasthitihi
Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi
danam damascha yajnascha
Dhanam Damascha Yajnascha
Adhyayastapa arjavam.
Tadvaya Tapa Arjuvam. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Now we'll see the meaning of the shloka. Krishna says, Abhayam Sattva Samshuddher. These are the divine qualities which are in Sattva Guna, which are also present in devotees who are beyond Sattva Guna also. They are, number one, Abhayam, fearlessness. A devotee is fearless. So, fearlessness does not mean recklessness or carelessness. He is fearless because he is dependent on Krishna. So, we will elaborate more on these qualities. First, let us know the meanings of these qualities. First quality, Abhayam, fearlessness. Second, Sattva Samshuddher. Sattva indicates heart. Samshuddhi means for purification. Right? Shuddhi means pure. Samshuddhi means completely pure. So, another aspect of a noble person or a devotee is a pure heart. A heart which is devoid of impurities like envy, pride, greed, and all these things. Third, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. Jnana is knowledge. So, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti means to put some effort to cultivate knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Yoga. That which connects us to Krishna. That which connects us to God. Basically, spiritual knowledge. So, third quality of a noble person is to cultivate spiritual knowledge. Okay. Then fourth, Dhanam, charity. So, a devotee is very kind and compassionate, and whenever he sees someone in need, he tries to show that compassion by giving them charity according to time, place, circumstances. Because charity also should not be given without any discrimination. Yesterday we were discussing in our Bhakti Shastri class, there are different types of charity. Charity which is done in three modes. Charity in Sattva Guna, charity in Rajo Guna, charity in Tamo Guna. So we will discuss all that during our explanation. Basically, Dhanam means charity. Damaha means to control one's senses, control one's mind, basically self-control. Oftentimes, our mind goes in 10 different directions and not allow us to focus on what we are doing. So, we need to control that mind. Our senses will distract us. Our eyes will go towards beautiful objects. Our ears will go towards nice music. And what we are supposed to do, we will ignore at times. So, that is Dhamma. To control oneself from ever increasing distractions in this world is Dhamma. Next quality is Yajna, performing sacrifices. Okay, not necessarily a fire sacrifice. The best sacrifice that is recommended for people in Kali Yuga is Sankirtana Yajna, or to chant the holy names of Krishna. Okay, basically the word Yajna indicates worship of the Supreme Lord. So in the third chapter of Bhagavad-gita also we discussed, right? Yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. So whatever activities if we are doing in this world, if you do that as an offering to the Supreme Lord, then there is no karma bandhana. But if you do it just for our own sense pleasures, then it will lead to bondage. So yajna is an act of sacrifice, which is an activity which is done for pleasing the Lord. Then next quality is swadhyaya, means studying the scriptures, studying the Vedas. Tapa means austerity. What is austerity? To do some activity which may be inconvenient to us but gives a good benefit to us. Okay, to voluntarily accept some inconvenience upon oneself for a higher purpose, that is tapa. Last quality is arjavam. Arjavam means simplicity, to be very straightforward and simple in one's dealings and not being so duplicitous or hypocritical. Okay, so these are various qualities of noble people. So one, abhayam, fearlessness. Two, sattva samshuddhi, pure heart. Three, jnana yoga vyavasthiti, cultivation of spiritual knowledge. 4. Dhanam, charity. 5. Dama, self-control. 6. Yajna, which is sacrifice. 7. Swadhyaya, studying the scriptures. 8. Tapa, austerity. 9. Arjavam, simplicity. So in this one shloka, Krishna describes 9 qualities. Now we will discuss some of these qualities, not all. If you discuss all the qualities, it may take an hour. But we will briefly describe a couple of these qualities. First quality especially. First quality is abhayam, means fearlessness. So what is the basis of fearlessness of a devotee? The basis is dependence on Krishna. Especially this quality is found in sannyasis, because sannyasis, they leave everything, they live a life dedicated to the Supreme Lord. So sannyasi is supposed to be fearless. So sannyasi has no fear of being alone. So even if I live in the darkest regions of a forest, I will be accompanied by Krishna and he will give me all protection. This is the this is the mood of a sannyasi. And abhayam or fearlessness is not necessarily present only in sannyasis. It is especially present in sannyasis, but everyone else can be a fearless devotee. For example, this 5-year-old child Prahlad, he was attacked with so many weapons by the soldiers of Hiranyakashipu. We know that. And he was thrown from mountain cliffs. Some snakes were made to bite him, and some elephants were made to trample him. So in this way, there were so many attacks on this little 5-year-old child Prahlad, but he was completely fearless. That fearlessness was based on his faith in the Supreme Lord. The Lord will always protect me. Anyone knows that shloka? How Krishna protects everyone. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. So Krishna will protect. Whenever we think of Krishna, always exclusively, Krishna is there to give protection to us. So based on that personal dependence on Krishna, a devotee is fearless. Okay, so that conviction that Krishna is my protector makes one fearless. So it's a fearlessness on a spiritual platform. Okay, but it's not that we should never be having any fears. So we should have fear. So fear is a bona fide emotion. In fact, this ahara nidra bhayam aithunamcha. So there is bhayam is one of the prominent feelings of all living beings, isn't it? So as I said, fearlessness is not carelessness. Sometimes fearlessness could be ignorance also. Fearlessness is not necessarily courage. It could be ignorance also. For example, a small child will go and keep wire in his mouth, a live wire in his mouth, like I am fearless. Okay, but it's not necessary that it has to be seen as courage or fearlessness. It could be seen as innocence or Hare Krishna. I lost you for a few seconds. Can you hear me now? So basically, we were discussing about fearlessness. So fearlessness does not mean foolishness. Courage does not mean we are ignorant of the dangers. So we should notice the imminent dangers in front of us, and we should try to safeguard ourselves from all those dangers. So devotee is having a healthy fear of Maya. Sometimes Maya will distract the sadhakas, means those who are practicing devotional service, in 10 different ways, right? So we need to safeguard ourselves from that Maya. So having a healthy fear of Maya is actually favorable for our devotional service. right? So being fearless does not mean we don't fear even some potential dangers. So we have to be very careful in leading our life. Okay. So now Krishna continues to discuss other qualities. Now you know this example from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Narada Muni in his past life was the son of a maid servant. And Narada Muni, at the time, as the son of a maid servant, just a 5-year-old child, he lost his mother. His mother was bitten by a serpent and she died. And Narada Muni, definitely he felt bad, but he did not become so overwhelmed because he had faith in Krishna. My mother must have gone to a good destination, okay, because just like Narada Muni, this 5-year-old child served the Bhaktivedanta sages and got some inspiration in bhakti. Similarly, his mother, who also rendered service to Bhaktivedanta sages, did some Vaishnava Seva, she also would get a good destination by Krishna's grace. So one should have faith in Krishna. So Narada Muni did not become fearful that, oh, who will maintain me? My mother is not there. So that's not this boy's fear. Basically, he had confidence that the Supreme Lord must have shown some mercy upon my mother, and then she would get a better destination, either spiritual world or at least another life where she can continue the practice of bhakti. What am I supposed to do? He started traveling to the north. He was fearless. Bhagavatam says that this little boy, 5-year-old child, was completely fearless. He started traveling towards the north, and then once he became a little fatigued and he took some water in a pond and he sat under a tree and started meditating on the Lord. He was completely fearless because he had faith in the Lord's protection. Although he was traveling alone, although he was traveling in jungles and forests where wild animals may be there, still he was completely fearless and he had faith in the Lord and he started meditating on the Lord and he saw the Supreme Lord within his heart. And you know what has happened later? The Lord also spoke to this child and eventually he became Narada Muni, a pure devotee, right? So a devotee's fearlessness is based on the devotee's dependence on Krishna. Okay, the dependence on Krishna, faith in Krishna's protection makes us fearless. At the same time, we should also safeguard ourselves from the potential fears around us. So we need to use our God-given intelligence and God-given strength and resources to protect ourselves from all kinds of dangers. So just because, okay, I believe Krishna, I am dependent on Krishna, I trust his ability to protect us, I don't do anything to protect myself. Not like that. Okay, that's not necessarily quote unquote abhayam or fearlessness. We should take some measures within our human ability. Whatever is practical for us, we should do the needful to save ourselves from the potential fears and dangers around us. Right? To that degree, to maintain a healthy fear of Maya is not wrong. However, even if we are able to protect ourselves by our own intelligence, the credit goes to Krishna. Because Krishna only has given us the intelligence. Krishna only has given us access to all those resources. So our fearlessness is based on the dependence on Krishna. And when we become fearful of some potential dangers and try to take necessary measures to counteract those dangers, there also we are depending on Krishna for intelligence. Okay, so now we will go to the other qualities. So basically, if we read Bhagavad-gita, for example, right in the next quality, Abhayam, next quality is Sattva Samshuddhir, means purification of heart. When we read scriptures, when we read Gita, Bhagavatam and all, so that contemplation and that meditation on the scriptural teachings will enhance our understanding of our own eternal relationship with God. I have a permanent relationship with Krishna. Okay, and by practicing Bhakti Yoga, I can access Krishna's mercy. So why should I be overwhelmed with fears around me? So the worldly fears will not disturb us to the degree we identify ourselves with our original identity as servants of Krishna and children of Krishna. Okay, so then that gives us courage. Yes, Krishna is there. Courage is not just about confronting others, facing others. Okay, someone is coming to fight with you, and I am very courageous, I can fight with him back. That's not exactly courage. Okay, but courage is Krishna is there as my protector. What is my true identity? I am not this body. I am not Kshatriya. I am not Brahmana. I am not Brahmachari. I am not Grahastha. I am a servant of Krishna. I am a child of God. He is there as my supreme protector. So that's courage. The courage must be born out of one's original identity as a servant of Krishna, but not a false courage born out of our material designations and material positions and other facilities, right? So that's the basis of our courage or fearlessness. Okay. So next is Sattva Samshuddhir. Sattva Samshuddhi means purification of heart. How will we purify our heart? By following various rules and regulations set by the scriptures, by chanting the holy names. So when we chant the holy names of the Lord, impure desires and impure thoughts will not come to us. For example, Haridas Thakur was chanting the holy names of Krishna, and one lady came, Maya personified, came to distract him from his chanting. So then Haridas Thakur, what did he do? She made her also chant. Because his heart is pure, he gave that purity to others. So if the heart is not pure, then they will indulge in unnecessary activities. And third, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti means to be engaged in cultivation of spiritual knowledge. So not only cultivating spiritual knowledge ourselves, we should also try to distribute spiritual knowledge to others. So cultivation of spiritual knowledge is very important. Even when Krishna appeared as a human being on this planet, he took shelter of a guru, Sandipani Muni, and he has learned everything from him. So we can cultivate spiritual knowledge by the guidance of a guru. So next is Dhanam. Dhanam is to show some mercy upon other people and give charity. And charity can be in multiple levels. Charity is basically not just an activity, it's a mentality. Okay. So charity, somebody gets 100 rupees, I give 100 rupees. Charity, I'm a great charitable person. That's definitely charity. But charity's definition is much broader. When we give the charity of one's knowledge to others, when we give the charity of one's time to others, some support for others, right? So charity is done at multiple levels, and charity can be done in three modes. So those people who are giving charity to others without any expectation of favors. Say for example, you give a gift to your friend on his birthday, and you expect on my birthday this friend will give me a bigger gift. Okay, so there's an expectation in return. That kind of charity or gifting is in mode of passion, rajoguna. But if you give charity selflessly, it is in sattva guna. But if you give charity indiscriminately, without knowing what is right, what is wrong, whether this person is the right candidate to receive this charity or not, without having that understanding, if we give charity, that is in tamoguna. Somebody wants to smoke or drink, okay, they don't have money, you sponsor the drink, you sponsor the cigarette, then it is not good charity. That is charity in ignorance. So charity is not just giving money to anybody and everybody, but we should give the charity or time for a right purpose. Sometimes people may ask charity of our time, right? Means they will not need time from us. But the time has to be given in such a way that it uplifts oneself and uplifts others also on a spiritual plane. So unnecessarily wasting time in gossip and then just pampering the material emotions of people and sparing time for that is not proper utility of time, right? So time also has to be utilized effectively. Okay. So next, there are many other qualities, but I'll summarize remaining things. So Dhamma is controlling oneself, not allowing the senses to get distracted too much, but engaging oneself only in beneficial things. Yajna, as we said, the best sacrifice is Sankirtan Yajna. Then Swadhyaya, studying the Vedas, scriptures, okay, reciting scriptural verses. Okay, that's what we are doing now. This is Swadhyaya session. Okay, Tapa means to accept inconvenience voluntarily upon ourselves for a higher purpose. So then Arjavam, simplicity and straightforwardness, not being duplicitous, not cheating others. So all this come under simplicity. Simplicity can also mean one's overall demeanor. Okay, being very simple in one's demeanor and one's dressing style or whatever. Multiple things are there, but according to context, sometimes some diplomacy may have to be exhibited for a higher purpose, but that has to be very rare. So as you know, Ramananda Rai exhibited diplomacy in front of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so that Pratapruddra Maharaj gets some mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And who is that? Sanatana Goswami exhibited some kind of diplomacy in front of the jailkeeper, so that jailkeeper can release him from the jail. Okay, Sanatana Goswami said, "I will give you 5,000 gold coins if you release me from jail. I will give you 7,000 gold coins." He was negotiating. You are a great Pandit. You are a wonderful personality. You are very religious. You are well studied in all scriptures. You are intelligent. Nothing. Jailkeeper doesn't know anything. Okay, but still Sanatana Goswami is flattering him, showing some quote unquote diplomacy, just so that Sanatana Goswami can go and take shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? Sometimes diplomacy also may have its role, but it has to be done only with a pure heart, with the right intent. That should not become our second nature. But in all our ordinary dealings, we have to be very simple and straightforward. So that's what Krishna teaches. So now Krishna spoke about 9 qualities in this shloka. There are many more qualities that Krishna will be speaking in the next couple of shlokas. So we will conclude our session here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now someone can recite. Ranendra Prabhu, you can recite the shloka.
Yes.
Abhayam
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhir Yoga Vyavasthitihi Danam Damascha Yagyascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So I forgot to mention this example. Ambrish Maharaj was completely fearless when Durvasa Muni created a fiery demon to kill him, because Ambrish was dependent on Krishna. So fearlessness comes by dependence on Krishna. Okay, next. Yes, Kamakshi Kartik.
कृष्ण प्रभु जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम श्री भगवान वाच अभयं सत्व संशुद्धि ज्ञान योग व्यवस्थित दानं दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्यायस्तप आर्जवम् धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रभु जी हरे कृष्ण
Swati Mataji. Sabarish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, one. Swati Mataji, you can do.
Shri Bhagavan-uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti Dhanam Damascha Yagnascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir. Sabarish.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Abhayam Shri Bhagavan-uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Dhanam Damascha Yagyascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir.
Shri Bhagavan-uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Dhanam Damascha